Welcome back to Crown's Crypto Cave, and just finishing up my good old ground beef over here as I get ready to get down and deep into this magic internet money business. But first, hey, happy Thursday. Hope you're having the best Thursday possible out there in cryptocurrency land. It's actually a holiday over here in Helsinki, Finland, but getting over to the live scene right over here right now, as Bitcoin has had a little bit of price action in the overnight hours, so at least for myself, probably like mid-afternoon if you're over there in the Western Hemisphere. But of course, as always, the biggest area to be aware of, 6,100, as long as we're below there, to me, it is heavy pressure on. There's always going to be a question in the back of my mind. Is this actually over yet? Because 6,100 is our breakdown area. So if Bitcoin were to actually close daily, close weeklies above there, well, I would immediately become more optimistic, I suppose, saying I believe that we've seen the lows. Until that happens, I'm always going to be skeptical, unless if I see something that's like really obviously a capitulation, which we do not have right here, right now. So yes, there will be signals before that. However, that would be like my last of the Mohicans line right over there, just a single line. It just as long as you get above there, close a daily dildo above there, I become instantly bullish. Anyways, we need to really go down to the lower time frames to get the right read on this guy right here. And as you can see, actually, let's go over to our BitMexico chart. Again, haven't changed this chart in like, I don't know, ever since we got into this kind of range over here. Bitcoin holding up off of the lower blue box territory. Again, this is why I said, until you actually formally break that area, don't get too damn bearish. While I am overall bearish, and I do strongly believe that Bitcoin will be making lower lows over time, that time component can be very elusive to some. And you don't want to be caught with a short right over here and a green dildo up your bunghole when you wake up in the morning. So again, very important, always understand that, markets typically do take their time. We have rallied up into this next kind of blue box territory right over here. So if Bitcoin were to take up and what is it, maybe close like a 30-minute dildo above 3820-ish area, then yeah, I don't really see too much stopping from like the 3900 level right over here. Yes, we do have this nice 3930 area, which does have some good significance. That's kind of like our higher block. We could put a blue box in that territory as well, but then we're just going to have too many fucking blue boxes. So again, a couple, the trade to be made here was basically buying the lower blue box territory, which we had a nice little stab down and deep and dirty into, and then sell this next blue box territory over here, just as we've been saying for the last couple weeks. Ranges, range. The big move, very unlikely to be happening, like right here, right now. The only way that I'd be looking for a directional trade is if we actually broke and confirmed some higher level dildos below this blue box right over here, the 3600 level. If you can do that on like a 4-hour, 8-hour daily, yes, I'd become instantly, looking for that nice that next big short, down to really like about 2900 is where I'm actually looking now. So again, that's kind of where I got my eyes on. If we do break down, which again, I do believe strongly that we'll break down, I think that we're going to spend some time going sideways here. Overall, traditional markets looking very bad, and we'll get to them pretty soon. But first things first, I want to finish up Bitcoin over here. So again, using the hourly 55 as resistance, if we can actually put a little bit of sideways in here, and what's it called, a flag out, perhaps you could get a nice bull flag. Let's see what the measure move on this guy would be. Again, just plotting one in advance, and there we go. Yeah, up to about 3950-ish area. So it's certainly not out of the question that Bitcoin gets back into this area. But again, need to see like a half-hour dildo closing above 37. Let's call it 3730. Just give it a little bit of leeway over there. If it can do that, then yeah, I start to look for that play. Again, I really don't like buying assets in a strong downtrend. I like either I like playing ranges, or I like closing shorts. That's what I like to do. So I'm not would I be playing a breakout over here? Perhaps a little bit, very small position, but really I'm just looking for the next big short probably. Resistances on the way up. Well, obviously this next block is going to be like a nice muddy area to kind of work your little BTC dingus through. If you can get back above there, then yes, 4060 is the next big resistance. Above there you got 4300. Again, I'm not saying that Bitcoin gets anywhere near 4300. In fact, I don't think that while Bitcoin could very easily get another wick above that 4200 level. Sorry, let's actually put this one on right. I have my 377 in there, just revealing some secrets. But basically, the weekly 200 exponential right over here. Maybe we do get another wick above there. Or, maybe we don't. To me, it's likely to be a sell. The main point is that I don't believe Bitcoin's going to be closing any weekly dildos above this 200 exponential, which is right around 4200, like anytime soon. It's going to likely be a long time. Again, you could get a few wicks up there. You could get all the way up to 4500, but I do believe that you're very likely to close back down below 4200 level, and we will be be initiating the next move probably from that posturing. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Overall, this week has just been a consolidation area-ish week so far, even though we have been testing the lows, which we said was likely, but now, it's just filling out the range, again. When it comes down to it, yeah, this is not a healthy formation over here, but hey, do you just blindly short this right here, right now? No, probably not the best idea. 4 hour 21 exponential coming in right around 38.50, by the way, which you could really count that already as a test. We've kind of already tested that. I think the 3 hour gets it a little bit better. Yeah, right over there. So if we do take out the 3 hour 21, yeah, I'm looking towards about 39.30. So another, like $100 play to the upside. Does it get continuation from there or not? That is not a question that is like really. It's not even really appropriate because it's just ranges to be played right now, not necessarily like big moves, which I think a lot of people get tripped up on. Big moves happen very rarely. You've seen like maybe a few big moves this year. Like it's literally a handful. More often than not, it's just playing the ranges. So if you can be a buyer on support, like down around here, seller at the next resistance, you're probably doing pretty damn well. And then same thing, if we take out this resistance right here, well, then you can sell over there. It's another $100 play. Don't get too damn greedy when we basically had a $3,000 down the last in about what is it, like a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. You're probably going to spend some time going sideways as you shake out everyone. We do have an interesting situation over here with the longs and shorts of it all. Shorts going up, reaching new highs. Again, this is like a lot of analysts will make a big deal out of it, and shorts and longs have become like some sort of a fucking meme in this market. I absolutely hate it, and I dislike that I talk about it as much anymore, but because it doesn't matter that much. When you're in a bearish market, shorts are going to be higher naturally. It doesn't matter. Like you can't compare it to the bull market cycle or consolidation area-ish type cycle as well. Phase, sorry, is the right word that I should be saying. Because bears are in full control right now. So you can, just as you did with holding longs in late 2017, you can hold shorts in this market right here as long as you're not like too over leveraged, and you're probably going to be on the right side of the trade at some point in time. Again, the trend very unlikely to be switching around anytime soon. Am I advocating like shorting blindly right here? No, fuck no, I'm not. But there certainly will be some people, some sort of traders, some sort of reverse investors who will just hold shorts because, well, until you actually start reversing the trend, there's not really a big reason to let go of your shorts. So again, shorts getting around 37,500. Yes, it is quite high. Yes, it is approaching the all-time high, but they can get higher because, again, this is a full-on bear market now. We are in full bear territory, so they will naturally be higher as they're just not under pressure, right? They're just not under pressure. Longs, on the other hand, are right around 27,300, so quite literally almost 10,000 less longs. But here's the thing. Longs are on the wrong side of the fucking trend. So when it comes down to it, this is actually quite bad right here. You don't want more than like 26,000 longs when you're still below fucking $4,000 price. So you look at this, and this actually puts more pressure on price action. People keep on longing, BTFD, which is just it's just crypto, man. You get these fucking cold personalities, and people just want to long everything. And you also get the bears too, who just want to short everything. And don't get me wrong. At some point in time, the bears will get their fucking their share of the red dildo action. Going the other way. But again, for now, longs going to be absolutely fucking smashed. All these guys right here putting on about, what is it, about 2,000 longs? Yeah, about a little bit over 2,000 longs, liquidating a few 1,000 already, but still got a 2,000 longs up ever since December 4th. Let's see what price action was around on December 4th. Let's kind of figure out what their average price was. Should be right around here. So yeah, their average price is probably somewhere right around where we currently are on the current price action, around 3,800, we'll call it. So a little bit underwater, a little bit in profit, but mainly these guys, not really. It's like, what are you going for over here? Anyways, all major moving averages are bearish across pretty much every time frame that matters. Going back now over here to our BitMEXCO chart, you can see that the yellow 21 exponential is slowly making its way down to, I think, the 4350 level now. Oh my god, this is getting really fucking bad. 100 exponential is well below the 6,000 level as well. And now look at the 200 exponential and 200 simple moving average right here. They're like conjoined now. They're like conjoined twins. So it's like, I think, pinkish now. But hey, when it comes down to it, those are going to slowly be making their way below 6,000 as well. So it's just more and more pressure mounting up. Just also another testament to the fact that it's going to be a long time below 6,000, very likely. Very, 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 very likely that you're going to spend, well into next year below 6,000. Doesn't mean that you can't, you'll probably bottom, yeah, you probably will bottom. And I do believe in Bitcoin long term, but you got to call a fucking spade a spade. So when people like Parabolic Trapper saying 50,000 by end of year, and Tom Lee has so lovingly revised his 25,000 end of year projection was just unrealistic. So he's gone back, he's really thought about it, and he's revised it. 15,000 end of year. Yep. Okay. What the fuck did I just hear? Again, just silly stuff. This is the type of market that we're in. Not that I don't think, fund managers really give their actual outlook on the market to begin with. I mean, go check out the Jim Cramer video on that if you would like to be enlightened. But for now, this to me is just saying that things are getting a little bit more intense. Let's put on the 10 simple. I believe that we are operating well below that. Yeah. So the big tell was a couple days ago when we saw this when we saw this wick above the 10 simple. We said, hey, if we close below the 10 simple over here on this dildo, very likely it's a short play. Yes, it was a short play. We come down slightly, make a new like if you're going by dildo bodies on a daily. Yes, we did make a new lower low, and this actually does offer up the chance for bullish divergence over here. So I actually do feel like Bitcoin probably does float up from here, whether it's 3950 to 4,000. I don't have an opinion on that, but I do believe that we'll probably start to fill out this area again. A lot of people thinking the same thing right now, and typically when that happens, you got to shake them out. The over leveraged guys, the guys who are doing like 5x, 10x, fucking 20x, and God forbid higher. Well, this one's for them. Daily over here, it's a little bit easier to see on the inverse, by the way. Major bearish divergence, getting also shuffled back down below the exponential right there, and likely going to lose the more bullish zone on the inverted chart. So again, I think it's a little bit easier to see over here. Daily Stokes also giving you a fake out as well. So yeah, I do think that we probably come back down, and we probably, I mean, like, it's certainly not out of the question that you actually come back and kiss the 21 exponential, which is rapidly rising or rapidly falling, depending upon which way you turn a computer, to about 4350 now. So the more time that you kind of spend around here, the lower it will get, and probably do kiss that, and then we'll figure it out from there. Again, it doesn't feel like 3600 wants to break like right now. Again, I think too many people thinking the same thing. 4 hour definitely looks like a rejection over here. So again, I'd be patient. I need to see 3600 being broken on a regular chart right over here. Just the lower blue box territory right there. That's all I need to see. If you do that, then yes, I'll be happy to take a nice big trade down to our next big support level, as I do believe it would be a quick flush. And when I say quick flush, I mean relatively quick flush down into this next range. Whoops, let's get rid of this guy. Don't want to reveal that. But down into this next blue box territory right over here, which is somewhere right around 2600 is where I'd be comfortable with saying. So there's a few things, and I'm actually going to present a couple of new things in this. All right, so if we do lose this current 3600 support, well, that's also kind of losing this higher volume node that we're currently resting on, similar to how we did on 6000. It was a quick flush down to the next high volume node. Well, as you can see right here, after you lose 3600 all the way down to about 26, 28, 2900 is just pretty much air. So again, probably going to take a little bit of time, but that would be the next area that I'm looking towards if and when 3600 breaks, which I do have a strong opinion on that. I don't have a strong opinion on when it happens. I do feel like it's going to take a little bit of time though. Okay, so with that said, we also have the 886 Fibonacci retracement coming in right over here. If I take this off, probably makes a little bit more sense. The 886 Fibonacci retracement also aligning with these nice horizontal levels, beautiful like that as well. Let's just go back and see the relevancy of this 886. It's actually going all the way back over here to 2014, which is where Bitcoin did bottom out in 2014. So that is interesting to me. Again, I'm saying that this is a potential bottoming area, not a definite bottoming area. I actually think that it's very likely that this thing could go lower. Not only that, but if I do put on the 200 simple, that should be coming in at the top of this price action right here. Yes, it is. And sorry, the top of the box right over here, which will start to curl down. But also I'm going to reveal something that I haven't really been talking about recently because, well, it doesn't typically come into play on this on Bitcoin. But if we go over here to the BLX index and put in the 377 exponential, that's actually coming in right around here, right around 2600. 2550 actually, so slowly rising over time on the weekly time frame. So again, if we do come down to there, that does kind of align in the blue box territory. Again, you're not going to get the right read on the Bitstamp chart for that. I need to go to the BLX because it has more price action history. On Bitstamp, it's not going to have enough, so it's not going to make too much sense. So I'm just going to go back and put the 200 on. But just so we're on the same page. Now, yes, for the time being, we are still kind of hanging onto this lower one right over here. But to me, the rejection of the dotted trend line going all the way back to the inception of Bitstamp, which had never been broken until a couple weeks ago, and then retested and rejected as well. To me, that is very likely to, we're not getting back above there for a long time either. I do think that you're going to get a massive bounce on Bitcoin at some point, probably after getting somewhere down around here, and you probably even come back and retest this trend line, and it probably does reject. Would be my initial that's kind of my opinion, right? I'm not saying that that's 100% going to happen. It's just my opinion. I don't trade my opinion, but I would just feels like that is what will happen. But again, opening and closing your first weekly diddle below this 200 exponential, that's confirmed kill of the moving average. To me, that's extremely fucking nasty. You've never done that in Bitcoin's history except for right here. And that's likely to lead on to some more downside, some prolonged downside. Again, the weekly 21 exponential, by the way, is right at 6,000. So that's not fucking good either. That is implying that, again, just another major exponential on a higher time frame, getting below that critical zone of 6,000. So likely that we spend more and more time below. Let's put on the 10 simple. I'm curious where that guy's coming in around. And yep, he's actually made his way much further past there already. So again, a lot of things kind of suggesting the same thing, saying, hey, we're going to spend a lot of time below 6,000, and probably a lot of time below 4,300. 4,200, the purple 200 exponential. Now, again, when I say below there, I mean closing weeklies below there. There's probably going to be a few wicks above that area, but they're probably going to be massive sells, like easy sells. But for now, just kind of flailing around. Okay, so let's go check out GPTC. I guess he didn't trade yesterday, did he? Yeah, he did not trade yesterday, but closing down his lows. That's also how we kind of knew Bitcoin was likely to sweep the 3,600 lows once again. Today, regular markets will be trading once again. Yesterday, they were kind of on holiday. RIP George Bush. And if you do take out $4.50 support, well, that would likely be a good harbinger of death for Bitcoin, flushing down to about 2,800-ish area, 2,600, whatever it might be. So let's actually go look at regular markets because they will be opening up later today. Again, very, 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 very critical time for regular markets because this rejection right here was really had to kind of put our analysis of this one on edge, because now you are back in grave danger territory for getting a death cross in the daily diddle time frame right over here, the green 55 and the purple 200, which are getting ever so close. And now that we have actually rejected this area, that tells me that this was like a fake out run over here. While spies might go, sideways for a little bit, I'd imagine that as long as you're, if you do find 275 as resistance, that you will get that death cross. It might take a month. It could take some time. But overall, once that happens, very likely you do start to actually, probably get back down to your prior lows and probably do break that. But overall, I still kind of stick with what I was saying before. December typically like a sideways to usually up month, but with all the drama going on the world stage, you don't know like if that's gonna play out because we just have a different type of market. But overall, I am regardless, I am bearish on this as I have been. It's just a matter of time. So the monthly really telling the story over here. And that is quite nasty. Looking like it. I mean, this looks like a top. It acts like a top. Again, to me, very likely that it comes down to 240 over some amount of time, and 220, 215 if that area fails, which I think is pretty likely as well. Anyways, okay, so let's actually go look at the monthly for Bitcoin over here. Monthly on Bitcoin, we are still resting on the green 55 exponential moving average on the monthly, right? Well, if we do lose that area, then yes, indeed. Where's the next area of support? Well, actually, from a monthly standpoint, you really don't have much stopping you from your prior high. Just saying, at around 1,200, it's certainly on the table of possibilities. Is it the thing that I'm looking first and foremost to? No, not at all. But it's certainly on there. Again, we have closed our first monthly diddle below the 21 exponential, just not fucking good. And the 3-day dildos, we did get a new tick on the 3-day dildos over here. The death cross is extremely likely to happen on the next tick. I think that we already have gotten the death cross if you use the 50 instead of the 55, which I know a lot of people do. Again, just kind of, this is not because it's, yeah, that is definitely death cross right there. So again, you know, whether you're using the 50 or the 55, extremely likely to happen. Just you're probably going to wait another tick if you're using the 55. But again, this isn't because it's some sort of like magical fucking Harry Potter bullshit over here that it works. It's just telling you that, you know, it's just the way that a lot of algos and bots are kind of programmed to respect these sorts of things. So they'll intensify their selling programs. They'll start selling, you know, more aggressively in comparison to what they had before. Again, keep in mind, you know, death cross over here on the daily. You got it. Where was it? You got it right over here. Everything was bunched up. That was a perfect one. And then boom, down about like 40%. What about on the 2-day? 2-day dildo death cross was right over here. And then didn't play out for another month and a half, actually, funnily enough. But hey, it eventually did. And by the way, using the 2-day 10 simple moving average as resistance right over here. And now we're likely to, now, you know, we pretty much have gotten the 3-day dildo death cross already. So again, this is pretty nasty. And this actually would make me a little bit more immediately bearish. Again, when it comes down to timing this shit, I don't have a strong opinion. I just have a strong opinion that that we will be going lower. So looking at this, you know, this is really nasty right here. Basically, this would kind of be like the count as a test of that death cross. Again, I know that that's like very far away, but that does happen. And that's actually not a picture perfect death cross when you have it that far away. I mean, just kind of keep in mind, you actually got 2 daily dildo death crosses on Bitcoin this past year. One right here when price action was very far away, and then actually rallied back up. And then you got your real bad death cross right over here. So we could have something similar, you know, where you get an initial reaction, but overall it might rally back up. Then price action gets very bunched up again, and then you get the real death cross, something like that. That would obviously insinuate a much longer bear market. So just kind of putting it on the map. Don't really have a again. It just at the end of the day, the trigger point for me is all the same. Do we close a higher level dildo below this 3600 support first? Then that's when I'm looking for that trade. Until then, we're just kind of filling out this range, and the thing to be doing is just playing ranges essentially. I still have my short open from 6,300. Yes, I am. Or oh my God, I'm taking a massive loss in options right now. No, of course not. I'm short the 4,000 strike puts. So basically, these are covered right here. Is what it's saying. And I have a little bit of short exposure, trying to sell some of the 3,750 strike puts. Not because I don't think that this thing is going down in the next day, but because they're just very easy to cover. If I am going to be wrong on that, as I'll make the decision if we lose 37.90, I'll just get short again and cover those. So again, that's, you know, it's that fucking simple sometimes. So please don't take that as like a sense of direction. I'm just literally playing like in a way like a scalping, in a way scalping with those. Kind of hard to explain, but if you're in the options program, yes, you will be getting a full explanation of what I'm trying to do there. Okay, so we talked about regular markets, we talked about Bitcoin, we talked about GBTC. Let's go pick on Mr. Buterol over here. Mr. Buterol getting all the way down to like $94 on BitMexico. Yeah, this is pretty insane. No, sorry, $93.70 on BitMexico. My God. I do have a horizontal right here. I don't know where that's from. It should really be right over here, but we have a very obvious close below it. However, you know, again, if Mr. Buterol does close the day out like this as a hammer dildo, again, it's not on high volume, so there's a lot left to be desired with this. Then very likely that you might actually see some divergence play out on here. Again, it's a delicate situation, but overall we need to go to our Finex chart to see where the next support is, and I think we already hit it. No, actually on Finex you did not get anywhere near hitting it. If you were looking at BitMexico, you would have. But basically at $90 even-ish is where I have the next support. But Finex, I haven't touched this chart in a while, and we are actually operating below the last line of support is what it looks like to me in the lower time frames. Not having a near as good reaction as Bitcoin actually. So again, well, some good buying down here. So fair enough. But typically this action is usually a hunt, so that's why I don't want to get immediately bearish. When I see something like this, I do feel like we're going to explore a little bit of the range to the higher side. more immediately. So again, the critical level needs to be broken on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the one to be watching right over here. If Bitcoin breaks back below 3,600, that trumps all in my opinion. And again, I'd be looking for really a run down to like 2,800 is really where I'd be looking for. But until that happens, if we take out this area right here, then we get to float up and test 39.30. So again, it's like another $100 play, just shake some people out, and that's typically how things go. So okay, what else we have to talk about? Let's go look at the historical, the volatility index on MEX, and that's currently around 5. I'm going to take this off log scale onto linear scale. You can see that yes, to me this is demonstrative of consolidation. So this would also make me say that yes, while I do think that it breaks, I just don't feel it doesn't look like it's going to break right now, because this is also suggesting that hey, we're kind of consolidating right now. You see that in the volume characteristics on spot charts to begin with, but I do like to kind of check this one out and see if it confirms as well. Again, when Bitcoin's really moving, it can get all the way up to the 20 marker over here. It got up to 10 on like the big drops the last couple weeks, but right now at around 5, just to put things into perspective. But overall, things are picking up. So we are in the midst of a move, but it is going to take its time to like kind of shake people out and frustrate people, as typically markets do. Okay, so back now over here, still finding resistance at the top of this blue box right over here. So if you want to play the ranges, I mean, that's the thing to be doing. You're getting plenty of signals every which way. 30-minute Stokes are hinting at across the downside, but if we go over a higher level or our semi-higher level oscillators over here, 3-hour yes did give you a little bit of bullish divergence coming off the low. Not only that, but you got your Stokes crossing up as well, rejecting the more critical zone. So I do put some weight on that. 4-hour over here, no bullish divergence on a 4-hour, by the way. So that is worth noting. You only see it on a 3-hour, and when you only have it on like a 3-hour but not higher. And this goes really up to like a daily. If you don't have bullish divergence on a daily, but you're in a bearish market, it's like I don't even really want to play it, because you're probably not going to get too much out of it. So far, we have $200 up. So that's I feel like that's already more than you're gifted. So again, just be careful. It's kind of what I'm trying to say. 8-hour over here, nothing to really be aware of on the 8-hour. I mean, the 8-hour kind of looks like you might pop up a little bit over here, but probably get rejected. So again, I'd be very, 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 very careful until we actually get a major move either which way. As I think a lot of people probably just overtrading this range as markets just love to shake your money back. You probably have a shit ton of people made a lot of money shorting 66,000-ish area, and now they just give it back. It's like, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it, man. You don't even have to trade right now. If you want the next big trade, just wait until this area gets smashed, and then there you go. That's all you have to do. Literally all you have to do. But hey. At the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do. I'm just sharing my opinion over here. There's none of this financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, if you were kind of tuning in yesterday, we basically already got the move that we were looking for to kind of sweep the lows, bouncing off of the off of there, going sideways here. So, if you break it out to the upside, again, looking for 39.30. If you break it out to the downside, probably come back to the lows. Although you will have a little bit of support right here. So perhaps this could actually hold things up right around 37.50, which is perfect for me, because if I do need to cover those puts, well, now I got a beautiful place to do it on. Again, expiring tomorrow, so I'm not too worried about that. But hey, that's what I'll be looking at right over here. Let's see. Have I covered everything that I think I wanted to? Let's go look at XRP really quick. I'm curious what he's doing. How is he holding up during all of this in comparison to all the other cones in this market? Breaking this support right over here. So to me, as soon as you broke 38.5 cents, this was like really bad. I mean, shit. We identified this like as soon as you got rejected from this area right here is like time to definitely exit your longs and probably get into a massive short. Well, we came down all the way to our critical support right around 38.5 cents right over here and broke that. So to me, this one's likely to have a full retrace coming all the way down to here to 27 cents. And then we'll figure it out from there. If Ripple breaks this area right here, then yeah, it's going to be going back to the teens most likely. But overall, for now, smashing through this horizontal at around 35 cents, which wasn't even like the biggest one. The biggest one was 38.5 cents. So overall, just getting, weakness begets weakness, selling begets selling, as the saying goes. So overall, nothing really looking good in this market as far as I can see. But again, there's also like 2,000 fucking coins, so I'm sure something's like going to the goddamn moon, as they typically are. But in general, everything follows Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is saying weakness, man, super weakness. Did we close a 2-day last night? I'm curious if we did do anything there. Yeah, we did. Yeah, so 2-day looks pretty shitty over there, but you know. Not too much to be said about it. I'll quickly go over the Trollinger bands because I think that they are a little bit interesting right here. The Trollinger bands are also suggesting that it's unlikely that we really start like making full on new lows like today, like this week. But the weekly is pretty fucking nasty. So the weekly is trending outside of the lower Trollinger band over here. We closed this full dildo below it on heavy volume. So to me, that's, likely to get continuation. We retested the lower Trollinger band right over here last week, rejected from it perfectly and closed outside again. So to me, likely to see continuation. The weekly actually does say that we're probably, you probably will start making new lows relatively soon. Just how over here, when you're trending outside the higher bands, it's a really, really strong trend to the upside. Well, this is a really, 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 really strong trend to the downside. Now, I'm going to quickly talk about why this is not capitulation over here with kind of reasons. So, and then I'll let you go. But basically, why is this not capitulation? Because I always have to cover this. Okay, well, first things first. This massive red dildo right here, this is essentially closing on its lows. Yes, you do have a small wick over here of about, about 10%. But compare that with a 62% move, right? So is that, are you closing on your lows? Would I consider that closing on your lows? Yes, and it's on extremely heavy volume. So that is not fucking buy volume. That is sell volume. That is fucking sell volume. It's not just looking at this and saying, oh, big red dildo, high volume, capitulation. No, this is the difference between someone who actually does this as a fucking living and someone who goes on Investopedia and just says, this looks bullish. It's like, there's nothing bullish about this chart, like at all whatsoever. There's not. Everyone's become a Wyckoff expert in the last year as well, because they will look at it like this and they're like, okay, so this is just gonna be like a spring over here, and then you're just gonna go back onto 12,000. It's like, no. Zoom out. Is this Wyckoff accumulation? No. This is accumulation right over here. This is accumulation right over here. And, well, we don't have a history before that on Stamp. But again, over here, this is a breakdown of your 12-month or 11-month consolidation pattern right over here. So are we just going to resolve that in 2 weeks of down? Unlikely, again. Closing below the 200 exponential right over here, to me, is just like a complete, that is really fucking bad. What else do we have to say about it? Okay, so compare that with something that actually is capitulation right over here. I know this is boring for the people who've already seen this, but hey, just wick to dildo body is like 36%, and like if we include the whole dildo, it's literally 69% of a move within really a couple days. Compare that with what we've done over here. Again, like a 5 to 10% wick. It's just not good enough. Yeah, about 10%, and really we're coming back down again. So it's giving you 1, 2, and essentially 3 chances to buy the quote unquote low. Well, how many times does Bitcoin typically give you to buy the low? Once. And it never gets anywhere fucking near there after there. And keep in mind, people are probably going to say, no, it did get near right over here and right over here and right over here. No, it fucking didn't, man. This wick is literally about 50% away from price action. It's nowhere near. Nowhere fucking near. So markets are not that generous, at least in my experience, that give you multiple times to buy the ultimate low. They give you about 30 minutes to an hour to buy the low, and then they never return there. Again, strong support only needs to be support once, is the saying. Okay, so what else do we have to talk about with this? I'm going to quickly grab this window right over here. Let me just type this in so I don't reveal all of my dirty search history, and then go back on over here to the MVT signal. So the MVT signal is called tops and Bitcoins just about perfectly all the way through throughout the history, really. Anytime it gets over where my cursor currently is on the oscillator, that's a top. And, anytime that it gets, about where my cursor is right now, that actually calls the bottoms from the top. Well, as you can see right now, yes, we did get the top over here, but we're actually still around the 100 mark. Compare that with, the other ones which get at least to the 50 mark and even below a little bit, all the way to like the 25 mark in some cases. That suggests that we have plenty of room to go to the downside. Again, looking at our high level exponentials over here, the 3-day dildo death cross is not to be ignored at all. This is a very big deal to me. Very fucking big deal. You only have one example in Bitcoin's history in 2014, but Bitcoin was relatively younger at this stage right over here. So it actually, it was actually kind of similar, where you're very far away from the price action, and then you have a major, dildo death drop, and then you just pick it up from there. Well, over here we do have a lot more sideways action, and we have spent a little bit more time in comparison to the 2014 market cycle, which, you know, are brothers but not identical brothers, which a lot of people try to make them seem, doing all sorts of whenever you hear someone say the word fucking fractal, run. Fractal is only a word that you hear in cryptocurrency, and people who use it typically go broke, because guess what? Those fractals, you can overlay them on the charts plenty of fucking times before they actually agree with you, and they typically will at some point, which is why they're misleading. So to trade them is very difficult. It's very misleading when people do that. But to look at them, to look for similar patterns, yeah, that's completely fine. You know, typically speaking, we do play out very similar market cycles, just because, you know, human psychology has remained relatively the same ever since we became anatomically modern Homo sapien hundreds of thousands of years ago, whatever it might be. So when it comes down to it, you know, you look at that and you see the same sort of behaviors as, you know, human emotions essentially run the market. And I know someone's going to say, well, don't bots run the market in algos? Yeah, they do, but who the fuck are they programmed by? You know, so you're always going to be kind of at the mercy of that limiting factor. Anyways, yeah, Bitcoin's still kind of hanging on the lows over here. Does it break it today? I mean, I don't care when it breaks it. It's just very likely to break it is my point. In fact, this is already looking droopy over here. I mean, this is not the reaction you want when you come up to this level. It reminds me a lot of what happened right over here, right? You get a hunt, you pop back up to your next resistance, and you just like within a day you get rejected from that resistance. It's like it's so fucking weak. So again, I probably will actually start covering my my short put position, because, you know, there's it doesn't look strong here. Again, I don't have it. You know, if we take out above 38.30, I'm happy to just uncover it and just enjoy, move probably into like the mid 3900s. But again, right here, a range until we break 3600. And as always, you know, to the upside, it's very difficult to trade upside in a market like this. I don't like taking longs in this market. I hate taking longs in this market, and I really don't take longs in this market, because a bear market, just by definition, the selling can begin at any given time. Yes, you know, technically speaking, you would have resistance right here, but you know, you'll see attacks whenever, because again, bears are in full control. They don't have too much to worry about. In order to get a fucking higher high in this market, and just to get a higher high in this market, you have to get all the way back above this area right over here, 43.50. Bitcoin, it's like $500 away, which of course Bitcoin can get back above there, no doubt about it. And I do believe in Bitcoin long term, so I do believe it will get back above there at some point in time, but probably not anytime soon. I mean, this is your trajectory. It's just so fucking weak, man. At some point, you probably will have a massive bounce, but I think that's probably gonna be a trap too. But again, that's just my opinion for now. Don't really want to become dogmatic with what I'm saying over here. Until that happens, just kind of playing ranges, and that's really all that there is to do. So that's gonna do it for me today. I'll be back on a little bit later with another live stream. Look forward to see you guys there. If not, hope you have a great Thursday. Hope you have the best Thursday possible, and take care.